how to replace air filters in your Model Y Tesla. It's been really smoky here this year. Tesla recommends that you replace them every 2 years. I think 1 year in China, every 2 years in everywhere else. And these are the Model Y air filters right here. It's going to require 2 of them, and they kind of stack on top of each other. So something similar to this is kind of how it will go into the actual system. They also offer a HEPA filter, but these are just the plain filters here. This little flap here is so that you can remove it. Ultimately, these will flap down, but this is allows you to pull the filter out of the unit. So I'm going to go ahead and take the car apart, and we'll show you where these go. I think traditionally on a regular car, you would pop the hood and you would put these underneath the hood. These are actually in the passenger wheel well, and I'll show you how to disassemble that and get access to where you put these, and then how to replace the old ones and put the new ones in. Some of the tools you'll need for this project, you might need a flashlight. You're working in the wheel well, it's kind of dark in there. So depending on how much light you have, a flashlight would be helpful. A plastic pry tool. This one, the width is perfect on it. It looks like it's like a 1/4 inch, but any plastic pry tool would work to get the screws off, the plastic screws out. And then a 6mm bit is the right size for the screw that's holding the actual air filter in place. So you need a 6mm either ratchet or a bit for your drill. Step 1 is going to be to turn off your HVAC system. You can click on your temperature here and get into your climate settings, then just push the power button in the corner, and that will stop your HVAC from running. So here is where we'll be working on the right side of the vehicle, or the passenger side of the vehicle here in the US. You are going to remove the mat out of the footwell and remove this top panel here underneath the glove box, as well as the side panel here on the left side. And then up here, right in that general area, is where the actual air filters will be located. So a little closer look underneath the glove box. Here are the plastic pins. You can see this pry tool fits perfectly in this little slot. And there's 4 of these. There's 2, 3, and here's number 4 over here. So we're gonna have to remove each of those. And then once we get those undone, we can pull this panel down. And then you can just yank these pins right out of the housing, and that'll allow this piece to come loose. There's 2 electrical connections here on the bottom. One is for this light here, this footwell light, and the other one is for a speaker. And this one here, I had a hard time disconnecting, so I'm going to just leave this one connected and just unplug the speaker. That one's relatively easy. You just pull straight out. And then there's enough slack here to just move this housing off to the right here out of the way. And then the next thing you do is to remove the panel here on the left side of the footwell. Just kind of pull from the right. And there's some pins back here that just need to be separated. You can hear them clip coming off as I pull. If you start from the top right, that's probably the easiest way to do this. And here you can see these are the little connections that go into the sides here, these slots here. So when you're putting this back, you're just going to want to line these up so that they all fit in the right spots. So we can set this panel off to the side now, and here is where we're actually going to be replacing the air filter. So this is the screw right here we're going to need to remove, and that will allow us to pull this panel, this piece of plastic off, which will expose the actual air filters. There is a possibility that this screw could fall down into the inside of the vehicle behind that liner. So you just want to make sure that when you get it a little bit out, you kind of hand pull the screw the rest of the way. So let's get the drill. And again, we just set it there so that we can pull it out by hand. And that will allow us to take off this clip. And there's the air filters. So up here is the top flap for the initial or the top air filter and the bottom flap for the bottom filter. And then you can see these arrows that point to the left, so that shows the airflow is that way. So you're just going to want to make sure when you put these back in that we're following the same approach. And you can see you just kind of yank these out. They're deformable, so you kind of have to bend them a little bit to get them out. There's the first one. We just kind of pull up on the second one like that, and then pull that one out the same way. We got the new ones here. Let's go ahead and put these in. So just make sure that the arrow is facing this direction. You want to make sure that the airflow is going that way. And we're going to slide in the first one, just like we did when we removed it. You got to kind of squish it down just a little bit. Okay, and you're going to see it's going to want to fall forward because there's an empty space in here. So you kind of want to get it so that it has a little bit of room there. There you go, and then that will slide down. And then here's make sure your tab is exposed so that you can pull it out when you need to. And then we're going to put the second one in the same way. Okay, and then you'll pop both of these up like that when you put the cover back on so that those are flush. So there's a little clip here. You want to kind of put that in an angle like so. So we're going to push this up like that. Push that down. Hold it with one hand. We'll start the screw in here. Fit this back on like this. That snaps on relatively easily. I just need to reconnect the speaker here. And you can see the way this fits. It's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. Just plugs in like that. Tuck those wires up a little bit. Okay, and once you get that last clip in, you're all set. Everything's back to the original way. You can turn your air conditioning back on and good to go.